Good morning. My name is Don Michaelman, and I want to welcome you to the January 12th, 2023 meeting of the Prescott Planning and Zoning Commission. If you could check your cell phones to make sure they're on silent or off, would appreciate that. We'll have the commission members introduce themselves on that answer. Tom, why don't you start off?
Tom Riley, good morning.
Ted Gambogi.
Good morning, Tom Hutchison, and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Susan Graham.
This is an open public hearing and being taped and recorded and videotaped by the city. The proceedings are being televised by representatives of the public media, the public, local cable and/or radio stations, and may be also rebroadcast. The number of commission members present is 5. It will require a majority vote of those present to pass a motion. I don't know if this, since we're no longer Zooming, we really don't need to identify ourselves when we are talking anymore. So we may just take that section out of our little agenda here.
It is helpful, like if I have to review the minutes and it's
You don't recognize our voices.
sometimes
It's
not.
okay.
And we might have someone new, you know?
We'll go ahead and identify ourselves.
It's just good practice. Thank you.
We have to be trained every week, you know. Would like to welcome our Councilmember Rusing to the meeting here. And Councilmember Katomi? No, I thought I saw her walk in, but no. Okay. First item on the agenda is the review of the regular and executive meeting minutes from December 8th, 2023. And we probably need to take each one separately, right?
2022.
2022.
And yes, separately.
Okay. Are there any corrections to the executive minutes meeting? If not, is there a motion?
So moved, Tom Riley.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Susan Graham, second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Same sign. Minutes pass. And now we go to the regular meeting minutes of December 8th. Any corrections?
I had a couple of corrections, which I've already given.
Yeah, I've made those corrections. Thank you.
Can you mention what the corrections are?
Yes, I can. On the top of page 4, I didn't type out right-of-way. I typed a light instead of right-of-way. Not sure why. And then a clarification of the motion for LDC 22. Oh, I apologize. On item LDC 22-001, Susan had stated that she was unclear about the language for the grantee and grantor, and I had noted that she was clear on it. So I changed those two things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Is there a motion for the minutes concerning and including the corrections?
So moved, Tom Riley.
We have a
Susan
motion,
Graham, second.
Yep. We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes pass there. First thing up on our agenda is CSP 22-004, Proposed Comprehensive Sign Plan Amendment for Prescott Center of Fine Arts Digital Reader Sign Height at 222 North Marina Street. Property owner, Prescott Fine Arts Association. Applicant is Wayne Sanford / Otwell Architects, APN 113-16-014. Tammy.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman, members of the Commission. Tammy DeWitt, Community Planner with the City of Prescott. So before you today is a comprehensive sign plan amendment to allow the approved digital reader sign to increase the height by 3 feet. In July of 2022, a comprehensive sign plan was approved to document the existing signage and to allow for the new digital sign. Here's the subject property here. It's on Marina Street, and this is Willis Street. It's on the corner here. We have a new building that was built, and they're proposing the sign in between the building. And here's the imagery that shows this is the new building that was constructed. And the goal was that the sign on the corner was going to be removed, and this new sign would advertise all the events on the property. So here's the one that was approved with a comprehensive sign plan in July of last year. So when they built it, which you saw from the pictures, this is the sign that was built. They haven't put the backing or anything around it because once they put in a sign, they realize you can't see it from the road. So they're coming back before you today to ask if they can raise it 3 feet 4 inches to allow it to be seen from the street. And this is the only sign that's being proposed. All the other signage that was approved with comprehensive sign plan will remain. So that concludes my presentation, and I'm free to answer any questions you may have. And the applicant is also here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tammy. Any questions for Tammy? Would the applicant want to make any comments?
I can, sure.
If you want, we just give you the
Yeah,
opportunity.
Really, that's the goal, is so that people understand. Our challenge is with the historic building, oftentimes people come by and they think it's a church. Even with our marquee that we have on the corner, it's been an ongoing struggle. And now with the sign being as low as it is, the marquee really doesn't serve its purpose for them to know that we're a performing arts center and what's going on.
Could you give us your name, please, Robin?
Yes, Robin Allen. I'm the executive director.
Right. Now, Robin, I have to tell you, I was on your board when that first sign went up, and I was the one who coordinated that sign, so I'm a little sensitive about the old sign, okay?
It's a lovely sign. It just doesn't light up.
You backtrack well. Any questions for the applicant? Thank you, then.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve CSP 22-004. Do I need to say all the rest of that? Or just,
Right up there.
Same thing.
I believe so. It's good
a
practice.
comprehensive sign amendment for the Prescott Center of Fine Arts.
There you go. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second. Tom Hutchison.
Okay. Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda is PLN 22-003, preliminary plat of Peregrine Ridge at Prescott Lakes PAD subdivision, a 54-lot subdivision on 26.44 acre parcel located east off of Prescott Lakes Parkway via Smoke Tree Lane Extension, site zoning PG Business General, and MF-M multifamily-medium density, property owner Bear Creek Holdings LLC, applicant Lion Engineering, APN 106-13-034K and 106-18-067N. Tammy.
Thank you, Chairman, Commission. So as a brief overview, it does have the two zoning districts, the business general and the multifamily medium on the 26.44 acres. They're proposing 54 residential lots. Of this, 36.7% of the property will be open space, which exceeds the requirement for a planned area development. And the lots range from size from 9,037 to 13,422 square feet. Here's the subject property. It's this big parcel here. So we have this little patch of multifamily medium here, and then the rest is business general. And then we have a little piece right here too. That's part of it. Here's the imagery of it. It is kind of visible from 89 as you're going down. It's on the ridge up here. And then the access is going to be via Smoke Tree. We have Smoke Tree that comes down here, and then they're going to extend it on the other side of the Prescott Lakes Parkway to be the access to this property. And this will be a new four-way intersection here at Smoke Tree. Here's the proposed plat and the layout. Like I said, over 25% of it's going to be open space, and it surrounds it here. It is at the top of the bluff up here. There's a lot of terrain issues with this property, which will have to be dealt with. And then here we see the extension of Smoke Tree coming here. And this is also going to be used probably as an emergency or secondary access as a development to the south is also going to be built. So this will be used for both projects during construction, and then it'll just be the access to this development once completed. And that concludes my presentation. I'm free to answer any questions you have.
Questions for Tammy? Tom?
Yeah, Tammy, when I read the narrative, the last sentence, the community should, that's the key word, should fall under the Prescott Lakes Development Agreement, water allocation.
It
and
is.
CCRs.
It will be. It's going to fall under the Prescott Lakes HOA, and the water was part of the water allocation for Prescott Lakes.
Yeah, the word should is what I'm,
It is.
it is, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Tammy, a couple of questions. I drove out there and drove all around and off-road, and it was kind of hard to get an idea of this development. You mentioned, go back to that slide you had up there. I'm asking about escape from there. Is there, you said something about that, but there's only one road in, one road out, right?
Yes, this will only have one road and one way in and out. They are proposing there's another development to the south that's going to be constructed. This portion right here. So this will act as a construction access during construction of this phase, of this new development here. But when it's over with, this will be the one access in. It may be able to have an emergency coming through to the south, but this is going to be a quicker access out is through the Smoke Tree.
Do you have an idea how much excavation there is to put that
We won't know that until we see the engineering plans, which they can't submit till the final plat's approved.
When I drove in, I came in by two ways, Prescott Parkway, and I came in by Willow Creek. There, I don't have a pointer, but you always have a pointer, don't you?
Say again?
Don't you always have a pointer? That last golf course, last hole, right there, thank you. I went out to there and I walked straight out. That's flat all the way out to 89, relatively flat all the way out to 89. And then there's a ridge. So is this between the two ridges?
I'll defer that to the engineer. They could probably answer that a lot better than I could,
Okay.
based on the terrain there. But my understanding is it's on the ridge, hence Peregrine Ridge.
On the ridge?
Yeah, that's why the name Peregrine Ridge. My understanding
Okay.
is it's on the top of that ridge there. Then there's another gully I think comes down.
And there's another ridge, and it's between the two ridges. All right, I'll defer to the engineer. Thank you.
Other questions for Tammy? Would the applicant like to address this? Because I think there's some questions the commission members would have of the applicant.
This is the top here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Scott Lyon, Lyon Engineering. To address your question, there is a primary ridge right there, yep, and then it does kind of tend to flow, that top of the ridge does head southwest and then kind of wraps around to the southeast off-site as well. So there's the northerly high point is on our project for the ridge line. So primary access will be Smoke Tree Extension. The development to the south, Astoria, that is being submitted for final plat recordation in the next couple weeks. So there will be kind of emergency or secondary access if needed through that subdivision as well as for Astoria 2A. In the event of emergency, there'll be a secondary access at the very east edge of the development.
Could you go back to that last map? So where would the emergency exit from that
Right there. That's where there's a proposed connection, and that'll also be a secondary kind of an emergency access as well for the Astoria 2A project.
Question, sir, or I got a couple.
So,
Go ahead.
Just go back to my, so how much excavation are we talking about here?
I don't have exact numbers right now. It will be on the top of the ridge. There will be quite a bit of excavation just on the top of the ridge, but for the most part, we're looking to try to balance the site the best as possible by utilizing any kind of excavation for fill material as well. But I don't have exact numbers at this time.
More questions? Couple. Are the houses going to be required to be sprinklered? Because you have a long cul-de-sac there.
They will be required to be sprinkled, yes,
Okay.
with the one access point.
What is the average frontage on a street for a lot? Do you have an idea?
It's on the preliminary plat there. 1 second. 70 feet.
70 feet? And how much of that will be utilized by the driveway?
16 to 18 feet.
So you're going to have about 50 feet in front of each lot for cars to park for visitors that come in.
On one
Yeah.
side of the street, yes.
So one side of the street is going to be no parking, one side would be parking then. And that falls within our parameter, I believe.
Yes.
Tight fit, okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Tom?
Thank you. I have a question. Once you do the mass grading that you're going to be proposing, you gave us kind of a little topographical finalized map in here, and you have a trail that's going to be going around the perimeter of that. That trail goes through a lot of the overflow dirt, so there's going to be,
Some benches in there with some retaining walls, yes, and that seemed to be the preferred route, working with Parks and Rec.
so that's going to be, that whole area is going to be landscaped, the
The open space.
open space.
Yeah, the disturbed area, they'll require some erosion control and some landscaping kind of throughout as part of the whole subdivision,
Okay.
except for where we try to get the trail into as well, working around the,
What kind of a trail are you talking about? Multimodal or just dirt or decomposed granite or?
we'll work with Parks and Rec on that to see what they want. For the most part, it's a pedestrian trail is what he was requesting. So
Okay.
it'll probably match other pedestrian trails in the area.
All right, well, thank you for that.
Do you have any idea of the change of elevation from the intersection of Smoke Tree Lane Extension, Pioneer Parkway, and then the furthest east of the property?
It's at least like 80 feet.
Okay, thank you.
More questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Any discussion? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Tom?
I move to recommend approval of PLN 22-003, preliminary plat of Peregrine Ridge at Prescott Lakes PAD subdivision.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Susan Graham, I second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Any staff announcements?
I guess our only announcement we would have is that Kaylee Nunez, our admin, has got the position of historic preservationist. So we brought it back into planning full-time, and so Kaylee's going to be our admin and historic preservationist.
Well, congratulations there.
Well, thank you, Tim.
Speak.
I am honored.
And we are looking, right now, we've been doing interviews for a new full-time admin to take a lot of Kaylee's duties off of her, so. And then I can pass more on to her from planning.
Dump or dump eat.
So that-
Anything else for announcements?
Not for that, no. Oh, yeah, the boards and commissions training, I got an email from Kaylee about the open meeting law training. Make sure to get with the city clerk to schedule that.
Okay. All right, before I adjourn, I would like to ask the commission members to stay after. We need to take care of some sort of procedural things on that, so.
Oh, we also have a couple other things, though, on the agenda. So we did have, what was on the agenda?
General plan?
Well, we have general plan update. Okay. Thank you. So the general plan update, so we have been meeting. So hopefully by beginning of February, we have a new website, planprescott.com, that will have launched. And I'll have a lot of information, the existing general plan, some just notes to people about what is a general plan, what's the process, where are we in the process, and then we'll have a survey that's going to be on there for people to access to get input. So we're working on the survey questions in the survey right now, and we hope to have all that ready to launch in February to start getting public comment and start getting that process going.
And I might add to the commissioners, my esteemed colleague Don Michaelman and I are on the general plan, and we're soliciting from the residents what things are important. So if there's anything you have that's important, let us know.
Okay.
But also to remind everybody that the general plan's the 30,000-foot view of the city. And then after the general plan, we'll get more specific into more specifics after that. So this is the 30,000-foot view, the general plan. And then after that, hopefully the goals and everything comes down, we'll be updating our other plans that we have that haven't been updated in 15 years or so. So that's the goal.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other?
And also at the city council on Tuesday, we had the duplex rezoning on Maricopa by Hacienda, and it was approved by the city council. There was some discussion about the access, the same as you had. The neighbors came in regards to fire access and everything, and that'll all be addressed during permitting. But the rezoning was approved to allow for the 2 duplexes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That's all.
If that's it, meeting is adjourned.